Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me for another video. This is Quita from AtHomeWithQuita, and here I share tips on how to plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So for a lot of us, mealtime causes tons of stress. Trying to figure out what to make, making sure you have all the ingredients, and attempting to make the whole family happy can be stressful. So over the years, my meal planning has gone from stressful to complicated to simple. I've used so many methods based on what worked best in that season of our life. And I've done a lot of experimenting with recipes. Of all the meal planning ideas I've come across, this is by far my favorite method for keeping it simple and saving you time, which is what we all want, right? You are going to spend some time on the front end getting things set up, but once it's set up and running, it's going to be super easy. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I create meal plans for an entire month or two sometimes, and I just keep rotating those meals. So let's get into it. Having a whole entire month of mostly unique meals is gonna keep enough variety in your plan so that you don't get bored with eating the same meals over and over again. This meal planning system will also save you time because you won't have to come up with meals every week. And even more, it's gonna save you money because you know what you're gonna make during those months. So let's talk tools for meal planning. You're first going to need a calendar. Any type will work. And then I also love these transparent page flags from our shop. And then you're going to need the writing utensil of your choice. And so you guys know how I roll. This video is no different. Every now and then I like to give you guys something free. So in this video, I'll be offering a free printable and I'll share with you guys, of course, during this process. But this is how they look. Of course, they're very neutral. You guys know how I like my inserts, and they're really going to help those page flags to really pop out so that you can see the recipe or the meal idea that you're working with. So these are available on our blog. You just have to be a member. So you'll just click at the top left in the members only section, sign in. And if you are a new member, of course, you'll need to create your account. And then you'll have access to all of the freebies from past videos. And then you'll also have access to Freebie Friday, where I'll post new printables every single week. So head on over there now prior to watching this video in full. Download those inserts so that we can work through this meal planning process together. So you've gathered your supplies up, you've downloaded the printable from our blog. So now you've got to choose your type of calendar system that you would like to go with. So I decided that I wanted to go with, as you guys know, a monthly planner calendar. You also have the option of doing everything digital, which means that you can set up this meal planning system on your phone by using Google Calendars or the calendar built within your phone system. You could also opt for a magnetic refrigerator calendar, which works excellent as well. So this happens to be the one that I use. Of course, it's from my favorite place, Amazon. So I'll be sure to link that in the description below. So now let's get into this monthly meal planning. So what I like to do is I always jot down ideas throughout the month, even prior months, some ideas of some recipes as I come across them that I may like to try in the future. So I do like to keep a recipes to try within my planner and meal planning system, so that way I have it there for reference. So I'm going to start by writing down all of the upcoming activities and events and fill that in on the calendar. So some of those things can include special events, vacations, whether or not you're having house guests, religious activities, maybe camp, first day of school, recurring activities like sports, lessons, clubs, and work commitments. You want to write that all down on your calendar. Next, I'm going to write in all of the days that we're either eating in or eating out. So if you guys don't know, I cook 3 times a week. The other days are leftovers, and Sundays are the days that we either eat out or we fend for ourselves, meaning that mama does not cook. So that's kind of our eating structure and schedule. So I want to go ahead and write in all of those days on the calendar. So this is where those events that you've written in are going to come into play. Those are going to be days that you are going to be doing something. You're going to be busier than usual, and you may not have time, or you may not have the desire to prepare meals for that day. So those are going to be days that you'll want to write. So those are going to be days that you'll write that you are probably going to be eating out. The next part of the process is to assign categories for your meals. Adding a few categories to your meal plan makes it easy to see what's planned at a glance. And I also love color coding this part of the process. So this is where those sticky flags are going to come into play. I'm going to use those to just visually see what type of meal that I am preparing for. Some categories include vegetarian, freezer meals, slow cooker, crock pot meals, maybe kid-friendly, leftovers, which we have multiple times a week. Maybe you're on keto or some sort of weight loss journey, so that's a great category to add. So you'll want to go ahead and assign those categories. Now, within these inserts that are included, there are some pre-assigned categories that I have printed for myself, but in the inserts that are included, you're going to be able to write those in for yourself off to the side. So the meal planning and writing all that in on your calendar is really a multi-step process for me. So what I do first is I fill in my priority meals. And so you're going to use the categories you identified above to prioritize the things you most want to make. And so that could be a family member's special event, like an anniversary or something like that, a meal that was requested by the kids, also maybe a special meal for a friend that may be ill that maybe you may want to take over to them, a meal you saw online and you know you want to make, or even freezer meals that need to get used. As you add these on your calendar, think about timing. Remember, we talked about that before in terms of scheduling things around what you know you have to do. Maybe it's easier to tackle something new on the weekend. So put easier, familiar, or freezer meals on nights that tend to be more hectic. And I also love slow cooker meals on multiple days during the week because they're just so super easy, but you can assign that to a day like maybe Monday. So now comes the fun part. I'm going to head on over to Pinterest, which is one of my most favorite places to find recipes for the family. I also keep a log, so maybe in some future video, I'll share with you guys how to build a recipe planner that has lots of recipes already that you know are going to work for you. So we're still in the building process. We're constantly adding new recipes. So that's where I head on over to Pinterest because it has a ton of things there. I also have several cookbooks. So I'm going to go ahead and find the recipes that I want based on what I know I'm doing right now, which is keto. And we're going to start writing them down on the sticky flags based on the categories I've determined. And the beautiful thing about these inserts is that this is where you're going to store them. So once you're done with your meal plans for the week, if you want to go ahead and add these back onto the page, you can just to store them there and you can refer to them later or use them later. When you're searching for a recipe you know is going to work. You could also write it in if you'd like, but I designed it in a way to where you could use these flags and stick them on the page. So I first go ahead and stick the sticky flags blank on the page by the number of recipes that I need. So I know that I need 12 recipes based on the calendar, the days I'm eating out, the days I have events and all of that. I know that I'm going to be cooking 12 times this month. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those page flags onto the page based on the type of recipe I want to do as well. So I mix it up between Italian and Mexican and Asian, and I go ahead and add the sticky notes based on the number that I'm going to need again, which is 12. So that's what I do first. And then I go back and I write in those recipes depending on the type of recipe that I'm cooking. And that again is where Pinterest comes into play, or cookbook, or pulling from past recipes, just that you know off the top of your head, because again, we are building a log because this is a system that you're going to be using hopefully in the future because of the ease of use of it with the sticky flags and being able to reuse them. That's the beautiful part of sticky flags. Of course, you could write it in. It's completely up to you, but I do love this system because you're able to pull things up and shuffle things around as you see fit with what's going to work for your family for that month. All right, so I told you guys this is a multi-step process in terms of filling in the calendar with those recipes and meals that you want to cook for the week. So we are now going to fill in our back pocket meals. So that's everything else in between. It's not necessarily a specialty meal or a priority meal, but these are meals that you know are going to work. Back pocket meals are those that you turn to in a pinch. They're easy, fast, and should barely require a recipe. These are the lifesavers of weeknight meal planning. Some weeks are just so busy that all we have are back pocket meals, and that is okay. And these can be theme nights or specific meals. So they can be like breakfast for dinner, which is a great theme, a pizza night, maybe Taco Tuesday, clean out your fridge soup, meaning that whatever's in there, you're going to try to make something out of it, or fake out, takeout. So those are all great themes. I also love Meatless Monday. I love Italian Wednesday, crock pot casserole. You can make those into theme nights, and those can be all recipes that you can reach for in a pinch when you're struggling to figure out what you want to prepare for dinner that night. These back pocket meals come through right on time. So now that you've gotten everything all figured out and written down on your sticky flags, if this is the method you choose to do, of course, you could always just write it on the calendar. But I, again, like the functionality and flexibility of writing them on the sticky notes, because then you can move them around. So now we're going to add them to the calendar. Again, you guys know I cook Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so I'm going to kind of mix it up. I'm not going to go based on any particular order. Of course, you have already written down the days you're going to eat out, and any events that you have are shown below. So you can always plan based on that. But when it comes to adding them to the calendar, I really just try to add variety and versatility. So I try not to do 2 Mexicans during the week or 2 Asians during the week. I try to mix them up over the course of the month. So you're just going to pull those sticky note flags up and add them right onto the calendar. Again, they are color coded, so that gives you a point of reference so you can kind of see what type of meal that you're making for that month. So you can do one of 2 things next. You can either just reference your month and know the meals that you're going to make based on referring to that, or you can take it one step further like I do. I like to have a weekly view as well. So you can either pull up your sticky flags and add them to the week, or you can again reference that on the monthly layout and write them in on each day of the week that you know you're preparing those meals for. So I like to do either or. It just depends on how I feel. And once you're done using them for that week or month, you can take them off and store them on that set of inserts that are provided with this video. And so that way you have a running log of all of the recipes and meals that you know work, and you can use this to draw from when you're making your meal plans, or you can leave them on the month. It's completely up to you. But I think it's a great idea to go ahead and store those meals on the menu ideas inserts, so that way next week when you're looking for a meal, you have a whole log of meals that you know are going to work for your family. You've enjoyed them already, you've prepared them, you know how that works, and you can use those in upcoming meal plans. That is the whole purpose of this way of menu planning and using sticky flags, is so that you can repurpose those and use those again in the future. So that is it for this video, guys. That is how I love meal planning for the month. Again, you could literally just write in the recipes on the month, but because you're using sticky flags, it's going to help you out even further to be able to repurpose things and use meals again in the future, which is going to save you so much time. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Don't forget to download your free insert and printable from our blog, which is available now. And we are also doing Freebie Friday, so you can actually get 2 inserts today. So stay tuned for more videos like this, where I do provide an insert and a printable for you to use along with the video. I always think that helps. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, so much so that you'll give me a thumbs up on it. If you did enjoy it, you will consider subscribing to my channel if you're new here. And of course, I want you to come back and catch another video, in which case I'll see you guys then.